Pippen.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. Now, Scottie Pippen, once one of the most popular NBA players in the past 2 to 3 years. Some of his public appearances were kind of questionable, to be honest, but I try to separate that from the amazing player that he was. One of my favorite players of all time. And today's episode, XXL episode, I want to show you most of the clips that you will find on the internet about NBA legends talking about Scottie and what a great player he was. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. If you like the content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I would say, let's get right into it.
I learned this from Scottie Pippen. He was the only player I ever played with that truly was magnificent at everything he did on the defensive end. I remember we were sitting there one day and we were just talking. And I was like, how do you remember all of the plays on both sides of the court? You know, like as a guard, I knew my position. I knew what it was like to defend at that position. But he would defend one, and then some nights he would defend the 2, the 3, the 4. In some series, he was guarding the other team's 5 guy because we wanted to place him. And he knew all 10 positions on the floor on both sides of the ball. And I thought, am I working hard enough? He made me really feel bad because I was like, I thought he's doing my little position. We call it, Mo, positionless basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Davis doesn't have a position. If I just stick Anthony Davis at the 5 position, I'm doing him a disservice. Why? Because Anthony Davis can defend the 3, the 4, and the 5. In some cases, he can probably defend the ones
which
and the
is
2s.
dominated primarily by younger people who are not old enough to have seen him play. I don't think people give Scottie his due.
Did you three guys believe that Scottie was portrayed accurately? Because friends of mine who are friends with Scottie from the Chicago area have talked to him, and he said, no, I think it was bullshit how I was portrayed. Do you guys believe Scottie was portrayed fairly and accurate?
You know, for me, I was, and I'm still kind of upset about it because I know the type of brother that Scottie is. So for me, I didn't like how he was portrayed, and I felt like, you know, it was I don't understand the reasoning behind it. I'm still trying to figure that out. That, you know, without Scottie, MJ would not have won.
You know, Scottie, I think Scottie's got a big heart. Scottie, you know, when I first got to the Bulls, he wasn't a great shooter, skinny, extraordinarily talented. So everything he had, he worked for. Like I said, it was one man's show, and that's what they saw him. But that's not really reality.
I was really excited to guard and play against Pitt because that, like, I saw myself as him.
Yeah, I don't know like that.
I watched Mike when he was in like 86, 87. Nobody can't do that shit, right? I know this is the older version of Mike, but I still remember 86, 87, like that dude. Pip is what I identify with. So it was, we played in Toronto in the baseball stadium. Now, this is my first time playing in front of like 30-some thousand people because our original games be 12,000. When Mike and Chicago Bulls come to town, it's 30 plus in that mode. They got to bring like extra seats and shit. So I was excited, man, to go up against them guys. Had my best game. Almost dunked on Pip that game. I remember that, but I landed on his back. I want to show, you know, my somebody that I idolize, one of the players that I idolize. I want to show him that why I'm here as a high school kid. And it was just fun to be out there playing.
It was straight up bullshit how they portrayed Scottie. That documentary, they called him, well, MJ called him selfish. That's some BS. That's straight up BS. If it wasn't for Scottie Pippen, there would be no 6th championship. I'm telling you right now, guys. I mean, the first championship, when I think MJ got in foul trouble with against the Lakers and Magic, who came to the rescue? Number 33, Scottie Pippen.
Putting Pippen on Magic Johnson rather than Michael Jordan.
Magic Johnson's the greatest point guard I've ever seen. And Scottie Pippen was picking Magic Johnson up full court. Nobody did that.
Scottie accepted that challenge, and I knew what Scottie was going to do. I see it in practice all the time. He gets up in your face and he harasses you, and Pip never let him get started.
Against Magic.
Going into the Lakers series, Michael had picked up 2 fouls early, and so it became necessary.
I knew that I could cause him a lot of problems. I watched Magic my whole career, even before my career, so I knew the style of player he was, and I knew what I could do to inhibit him from being as effective on the basketball court as he had been throughout his career.
Scottie gave me some problems, and it made it a little tougher for us to get into our offense. And so it was a smart move on their side.
His former teammate, Stacey King, who has his own podcast on YouTube and who, obviously talks a lot about the Bulls in the 1990s. Let's hear what he has to say.
And, people talk about Moses Malone and Akeem and all these guys who are great players. But you talk about underrated guys, that's the guy that jumps to mind for me.
That's interesting. It's almost like one you'd have to think about.
Yeah.
Because that kind of caught me off guard. But if I was just to go off the top of my head, I would say my teammate Scottie.
Yeah.
I think Scottie is underappreciated by people. I think people look at him as being, he benefited by being with Michael Jordan. I think he showed a lot of people when Michael retired that he was a player of stature, a player that top player in the league without Michael Jordan. He doesn't get the credit of being the guy. I consider he was like the heart and soul of those championship years. The players really looked for him when things got rough. Scottie would calm everybody down. Scottie would be the guy like, hey, if you let's say you made a mistake or you blew an assignment or something, Scottie would always be that guy to come up and put his arm around you and say, hey, don't worry about it. We need you. Get your head back in the game. That's just one play. Let it go. It wouldn't be MJ. MJ might be yelling at you. He might be telling, you better catch that ball next time I'm passing you. That kind of thing. So he was the good cop, bad cop situation that you normally have with coaches. The head coach always looked at the bad cop. The assistant coaches always looked at as a good cop. But having a player of Scottie's stature on your team and being able, especially as young players like myself and BJ, Scott Williams, having him on there to be able to guide you through things and help you out. And Pax was like that too, and Bill Cartwright, but we're talking Hall of Fame players, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
And the next clip that we're going to take a look at is from Rasheed Wallace, who played alongside Scottie when he was playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, which was a very interesting team. And if you hear some of the audiobooks about former players and their experience of that team, it was kind of tough. But anyway, Rasheed has a lot of respect for Scottie. Let's take a look.
Like a guy like Pip, what made him elite defense? Like we know, like long arms, 6'7", 6'8", but there's lots of guys in the league with that. What made Pip stand apart?
Man, for me, what I look for defensively, like he don't give you the same defensive coverage every time. You know what I'm saying? Like Pip might get up on you and bang you a little bit, and then you might be trying to bang Pip, and he make himself so elusive that you ain't even touching him, and he's still reaching.
Right.
He's 6'8", long arms. He got these big ass hands. You know what I mean? Huge hands. Like I'm talking, you give Pip a handshake, he all up here on your wrist.
Elbow,
you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And like if you, like back in my day, like if you was really chill, like before Brian really came through, if you were chiseling out a wing player, it looked like Pip. You know what I'm saying? If we're keeping it real, like you talking about in terms of athleticism, length, all that
speed,
stuff.
Strength, agility.
So he was his agility level was so crazy. And like I said earlier, when before, like when he guarded Magic, the way he guarded Magic, and he was just giving him so many different looks. And every time Magic, Magic you can just chill, happy on his hip. Pip was down low, he getting up in there. You know what I'm saying? Magic trying to put that hip on him, he ain't really touching him.
Early 90s finals.
You know what I mean? All that type of stuff, and then you got to watching him. He took the challenge on everybody, even when stars like Grant Hill and all those guys was coming through, and just every night he was taking the challenge, and that just made him tough for me. And then when I got a chance to play with him, he was probably about 35 when he got to us, about my mid-30s. He was a lot older, but he kept his body in shape. He was still good, and I was like, oh. And guys like him and Stacey Augmon and those type of wing players that's long and lanky, man, them guys it's tough to go against them because you can't really, they don't let you feel them. You know what I'm saying? And if you try to, in terms of using your body to get separation, and I mean, no, you're right.
I'll allow it, come on.
And also, you know what I'm saying, if you just think you got a wide open shot, those guys are long enough to take your shot. So Pip stuff was just scary. I mean, he was just a scary defender, in my opinion.
And the next clip that we're going to take a look at is from Jalen Rose, who obviously loves Scottie Pippen as a basketball player. And when I say obviously, now the good thing about Jalen, even though he was a bad boy fan over the years in his career and his post-career, he opened up to the Bulls. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yes, Scottie Pippen has a book coming out. There's an excerpt in GQ. And in that excerpt, he said that Michael Jordan put out The Last Dance because he wanted to show that he is still larger than current players, especially LeBron James.
So let me do a distinction for you. As somebody who grew up playing basketball, born in the 70s, played in the 80s, I was considered a tall guard, right? Scottie Pippen, an all-time great point forward. And I'm gonna do the distinction for you. It was like Paul Pressey, Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, and then there were like the tall point guards, right? Magic Johnson, Steve Smith, Penny Hardaway, right? So I always admired Scottie Pippen in his game and appreciated him. And then I thought about something. He's the most disrespected all-time great player in any sport that any game has seen.
Interesting.
It's not even close. Michael Jordan didn't win any championships without Scottie Pippen. But let me tell you why the public gets to denounce the role of Scottie Pippen. 2 reasons. 1, we always want to give the best player all of the credit.
Of course. And Michael Jordan is the best player, not just on the team, all time.
So, so we're going to give him all the credit. Like when we talk about Jordan, we don't even mention, like, oh, he had Phil too. Phil kind of did go win 5 more championships after he left the Bulls, right? That's 1. 2, unfortunately for Scottie, when you look back at those championship runs, and this is the dubious thing I wanted to show you, he doesn't have like the signature moment.
Steve Kerr had a signature moment. Scottie Pippen didn't.
You see what I'm saying?
It's not that he didn't contribute. It's just he didn't have that, like, you point back to that one bucket, that one stop, that one block.
Like, just think about this. Have you ever seen Scottie Pippen make a game-winning shot? When you play Michael Jordan, you don't even get the chance to take the game-winning shot most of the time. You see what I mean?
Even though, you have a guy who can give you 30 and carry the team, you're like, I don't really need that because I can just have 4 of this and they can make sure, like Scottie Pippen. People didn't realize on the USA team, he led the team in assists. Wasn't Magic. Wasn't John Stockton. It wasn't the 2 best point guards in the world. It was Scottie Pippen. He was the most valuable because he's the one that's getting the ball from out of Jordan's hand to a Barkley, from Barkley to a Mullen, from Mullen to a David Robinson. So he's the one that's making sure all these guys, and he sacrificed himself, but he's the most valuable on the team.
As a defender, right, he don't get enough credit. And when we talk about probably the greatest and the best defender that's ever played in the NBA, Chicago had 2 of them, Rodman and Scottie Pippen. But Scottie was different, as a defender. At his best, I may have to say that he and Rodman 1 and 2 best defenders probably ever to play the game. Wow. And so I do want to give him his respect and his props because, and then as a facilitator, Scottie, he was the real deal.
He was a great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Scottie was one of my all-time favorite teammates because he was really a point guard in a 6'8", long-armed, long-limbed body, just with incredible athleticism. So to play with him made the game so much easier for me. He would always be looking for me, finding me open shots, covering up for me defensively. If I made a mistake, I knew he was always going to be there. One of the smartest, most unselfish players I was ever around, and just a champion in every way.
Scottie was an incredible player. There were only a couple guys that were bigger than me that I was uncomfortable when they guarded me. And Scottie was one of those guys. 6'8", he was long, he had incredible lateral quickness. His defensive instincts, I would marvel at. I really got even more of an appreciation for it when we were teammates in Portland, and then you got to see why he ultimately became the kind of player he did.
Okay, well, one of the things that John's always said on my show that usually gets people upset is based on his experience. He said that Scottie Pippen is the most skilled player he's ever worked with, not Jordan.
Funny thing is, I think Scottie is more skilled than all of them. Scottie Pippen is probably the most skilled player I've ever played with.
Really?
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
That's tough, because you know what? I said it earlier in the interview, I keep saying this, I said, thank God Michael Jordan got Scottie Pippen. Because Michael couldn't do it by himself. Michael scored 40 points a game, and Scottie came in and just filled in the blank and just made him just like a major superstar.
Whenever they speak Michael Jordan, they should speak Scottie Pippen. Pippen became my focal point.
More than any other player, Scottie benefited from playing with Michael Jordan, because Scottie had this raw athletic ability. What he didn't have was what Michael brought every day.
The thing about Pip is, if you stand next to him, you make him stronger. All the Detroit times when Rodman wanted to pick on him, he needed someone there to stand there and say, look, I'll fight with you, just fight. I would never be able to find a tandem, another support system, another partner in the game of basketball like Scottie Pippen. It was a pleasure to play with. When everybody says, well, I won all these championships, but I didn't win without Scottie Pippen. And, that's why I consider him my best teammate of all time.
A lot of the world didn't know what kind of athlete he was. From Central Arkansas, a little small town. I knew he was that talented. If he wanted to score 20, he scored 20. If he wanted to stop you from scoring a bucket, he stopped you from scoring a bucket. His mindset was that.
Just, I think his versatility at that length, at that size. 6'8", 6'9", can play the point forward, knock down threes, can rebound the ball and push it up. First team all defensive guy. Another guy that a complete game. I don't think you could point to one part of Scottie's game and say, well, that was his weakness and he couldn't do that. Even when he came in the league and he wasn't a great shooter right away, by the time he retired, he was a Hall of Fame shooter. He knocked shots down. So Scottie did everything on the court.
Scottie Pippen, how he was underpaid, underappreciated by a lot of people. For fans who are too young to have seen Scottie play and just think of him as this Michael Jordan sidekick, what's your best way to explain to them just how good Scottie actually was?
Well, he was the best defensive player in the league by far. But on top of all that, I think this documentary is showing how tough Michael was on his teammates. Scottie was sort of the counterbalance to that. He was the one who made us all feel comfortable and confident. He was beloved on that team. He was such an incredible teammate and an incredible player. And it was just amazing to watch him work every single night and to play with him. Being on the floor with him was so much fun.
Smitty, it's crazy to think that a guy that came from such a little school and wasn't really on many teams' radar was able to win 6 championships and be one of the 50 and 75 greatest of all time.
Unbelievable hard worker. A guy, like you said, won 6 championships. But I think even more importantly, obviously championships are, but on all defensive team 10 times. Got a chance to play one of the greatest teams ever. And then I got the opportunity to play with him in Portland. So it was a treat getting a chance to play with him. All those years we had those battles. And a guy that could really guard 1 through 5 and really took the challenge.
Yeah, known for his defensive ability, but throughout his career at different times, he was able to carry the mantle offensively and evolve that part of the game.
I think when Michael got a chance to retire, you got a chance to see Scottie Pippen's offensive game. He was a great teammate, a great guy, and I'll never forget playing with and against Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, the only guy I'm jealous of in my whole life, because he was picked 1 pick ahead of me, and I wanted to go and play with Michael Jordan at that time. So I was like, man, I wanted that spot, Scottie. his ability to be the consummate all-around Boy Scout knife. He had every tool. He had the, just pulls it out. You need a screwdriver, you need a wrench, he had all of the tools.
Everybody wanted to be like Mike. I just loved the way Scottie played the game too, because I couldn't do what Mike could do, I didn't think. Scottie played defense, he shot the ball, he dribbled the ball, he could play, and he was one of my favorite players. I was thankful to be able to play with him. He's a legend, he's one of the top 50 players ever.
Where Pip influenced me was the work ethic and just seeing it myself.
When we made the trade and Pip came in, I just remember how excited it was. Shout out to Pip, that's my guy.
Battles, he was a hard man to beat. That team was so good though. Mm-hmm. That team was made up of a bunch of great role players. Mm-hmm. And I think Scottie Pippen, I have a lot of respect for. I think he's one of the greatest role players to ever play this game.
Yeah,
he's probably the best.
Yeah,
to ever play this game. And so he was a great compliment to Jordan.
Talk about Scottie Pippen and his influence on you guys in that team.
They called me Lil Pip for a while. I knew he was going to say it. I thought he was going to say it first.
How you kick me from over there, Tim?
Listen, I'm going to put it out. Listen, like I told them, like Pip, shout out to Pip, that's my guy. But, Pip, I'm from Indiana. Chicago, I'm a Pacer. I grew up a Pacer fan because just being from Indiana, but the Bulls, WGN was local for us. We caught all the Bulls game growing up. So that was a treat for us to be able to watch Michael Jordan and Scottie. And just growing up in the neighborhood, everybody wanted to be like Mike was. And I just remember going into the locker room, seeing him for the first time, and I'm sitting in my locker, and his locker's kind of over there. And when he look over at me, I'm this way. When he looking away, I'm just staring at him, and he looked literally like a superhero to me. I said, dang, man, he got a nice tan. Pip always cut up. I said, dang, he even tuck in his shorts and stuff, get ready for practice like a pro. I said, damn, that's what a pro looks like. And, after a few weeks and a few months, a few weeks or whatever, he kind of got settled and kind of figured out who was cool, and he moved around the corner from me, and he invited me over his house, and I used to go over to his house. All his kids, they was babies, some of them not even here, and that's when him and he just got married, and he was just doing. He was just got all that big money, and he was just living a great life, and I was just learning so much from him off the court and on the court, just by visually just being around him. And on the court, he was just teaching me so much about basketball and just how to play and, pace and footwork stuff, and, he taught me the bank shot.
We don't beat the Lakers unless Phil doesn't make that switch putting Scottie on Magic. Because, as great a defender as Michael was, he was still getting up 3 inches and about 25 pounds to Magic Johnson. And that first game proved it. When we lost the first game of that series, LA comes in and Sam Perkins hits that shot at the end to win the game. But really the whole part of that game was Magic dominating that game and being able to get guys in position not only to score, but to cause matchup problems. Because when you have a guy like that who can walk you down from 60 feet, and he's playing at his own pace, and you got arguably one of the best defenders on the floor having a hard time guarding him. Phil Jackson going to Scottie and saying, we're going to put you on him in game 2, that changed the whole complexion of that series. And people don't talk about that. People don't talk about that particular part. They just say, well, that was the Bulls' first championship. Michael did this, Michael did that. But they don't make that change. Maybe our fortunes are a little bit different in that series.
We got a problem. Scottie was unshakable. Didn't even want a Band-Aid. When we saw that, it was over.
It was just like, okay, it's a foul. Let's go ahead and finish kicking their ass and put them out of their misery.
Short rebound. He has Pippen. The change of putting Pippen on Magic Johnson rather than Michael Jordan.
Magic Johnson's the greatest point guard I've ever seen. And Scottie Pippen was picking Magic Johnson up full court. Nobody did that.
Scottie accepted that challenge, and I knew what Scottie was going to do. I see it in practice all the time. He gets up in your face and he harasses you, and Pip never let him get started.
Scottie Pippen, who did a tremendous job in defending against Magic.
All right, before I let you go, I want you to tell me, you pick your starting 5, all-time starting 5.
Okay, I'm not going to be in it. Oh, God. I got to put Oscar Robertson at my...
2 guard.
At my 2 guard.
And who's your other guy?
Now, my other guy, I would have to go with my other guy. I would have to put That's the two guard. I need a three-man.
Yeah.
I'm going to shock the world. I have to put Scottie Pippen as my three-man. Okay, now let me tell you why.
Oh, I got to hurry, though, because I got to go.
Okay, I know you got to go. Scottie Pippen led the team in every statistical category when he was there without Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's why I got to put Scottie Pippen.
He helped me so much in the way that I approached the game, the way I played the game. Whenever they speak Michael Jordan, they should speak Scottie Pippen. When everybody says, well, I won all these championships, but I didn't win without Scottie Pippen. And, that's why I consider him my best teammate of all time.
About Scottie Pippen and how that whole relationship evolved and how you pushed Scottie Pippen.
Well, not just push Scottie Pippen, but Scottie Pippen pushed me. It was this big brother, little brother scenario. I knew the hard work that it took to get to that level. And if we wanted to get from point A to point B to point Z, then I'm gonna have to pull this guy along. We're gonna have to find a way to coexist. We're gonna have to find a way to challenge each other.
You come and trap and then go. If you're there, you go.
So, it was that, me pulling him along.
Come on, man, let's go. Where you going?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
You hear that?
Come on.
No,
I miss out on this.
That's entertainment.
145.
To where, okay, if you're gonna play this game, you're gonna have to get like this.
You could have just spin around. I thought when I saw you fake, you thought that someone came over. Karl Malone was at the top doing this. Okay.
And the next thing you know, it's a tandem.
It's a 3-on-1 with only Best back, and Pippen slams it in his face.
Scottie was one of the guys who really evolved the position as an all-around presence.
Look out! Pippen with the steal! Pippen! Oh, what a move by Scottie Pippen!
It was tough. To be a wing player and going against Scottie, it was very tough.
He is the complete package. He can do everything.
I don't think you could point to one part of Scottie's game and say, well, that was his weakness and he couldn't do that. Scottie did everything on the court.
He was the best defensive player pretty much every year.
This guy can guard any player on the floor.
A guy that whenever we needed to stop somebody would guard 1, 2, 3, 4.
And without his knowledge from that aspect, I don't think we would have been as successful.
If I could learn how to cut angles off like Scottie, be aggressive on the defensive end of the floor like Scottie, I think that'll just take my game and the team that drafts me to an entirely different level.
Just cheering for you. That's all I would ever want out of my life. I would just go home and retire after
Absolutely.
that.
So I mean, but now I'm sitting next to Pip. I grew up watching my man, and now I'm sitting next to him. This is one of my childhood idols, so this is awesome.
It was this kid, Scottie Pippen, I thought for the first time that was able to match him size for size, speed for speed.
You rarely had someone of Scottie's athleticism and length who could guard him 94 feet.
So now Magic was in a situation where he was having to back his way down court. He's facing backwards, just get by Pippen's aggressive defense.
The Lakers really thrived on Showtime and Magic making plays, and you can take them out of rhythm, then you can make them have to think a little bit.
Scottie gave me some problems, and it made it a little tougher for us to get into our offense. And so it was a smart move on their side.
And Phil doesn't get a lot of credit for being a great strategic coach. The notion is he's chanting and he's involved in mysticism or Zen or something. But Phil's a basketball guy. And one of the things he's done, and I always wonder why guys don't do it more often, is sort of the kill the head of the snake thing. You try to take away the best thing they do. Not necessarily go after the best scorer, but get after who initiates the offense.
And it allowed then our big guys to battle with Divac down there. Horace could roam a little bit and find his way, and Michael then was able to gamble a little bit at times against the passing lane. So we found a little thing that really disrupted their tempo.
Pippen with a nice move.
Feeds the ball to Nance, a deflected pass, knocked away, stolen by Pippen. Pippen drives to the other end and slams it with two hands.
Scottie takes the middle, feeds it left to Craig Hodges. He finishes off.
That's why when Jordan left, as it was shown in The Last Dance, and Scottie felt like they should have shown it because MJ wasn't on the team, that's why it was on him when MJ left to play the MVP level, lead the team. They got a bad call against the Knicks, or they would have advanced a lot further. But that's what blew up the Toni Kukoc thing when he didn't go in the game.
Even bigger.
So it's like, Phil, you know I always wanted this opportunity without MJ. And then now you gonna call a play for Kukoc, and you know what happened? He made the shot.
Hit the shot. He made the shot. Well, I just want to demonstrate just how much Scottie meant to the success of this Bulls team.
Please do. Give my guy some love.
When you look at Michael Jordan and the Bulls' success in the playoffs pre-Scottie Pippen, and then you look at post-Scottie Pippen, look at that. Oh, you see that win-loss record there, Jay? Was that one win without Scottie in the playoffs? One win without Scottie in the playoffs?
Well, to be fair with MJ and leave that up there, on the left is only 2 seasons. On the right looks like 11 seasons.
The percentages are very different.
You know what I'm saying?
The percentages are very different.
Right. But your point still stands. There was a period of time where the world recognized the greatness of Michael Jordan and questioned if that greatness could now translate to winning.
Exactly.
And that's the period of time you talked about. And that's the period of time like all-time great players like my idol Isaiah Thomas talk about, who's the only person, and my bad boy Pistons, have a winning record against MJ, Bird, and Magic.
I definitely agree, because by the time he got to us, he was a seasoned defender. He helped us out as far as, I know for sure with me, just to look at the game. You know what I mean? Like, for him, yeah, we all knew Chicago, like when most people think Chicago is Mike, but for us in the league, I know at least for me, when I think Chicago, it's like, for me, like, no, it's Pitt.
Really?
Because like, yeah, because you looked at Mike like, okay, Mike is the offense for them. Excuse me. Mike is the offense for them. You know what I'm saying? But Pip is the motherfucking defense. Pip is the one that was holding down. I would say he was one of the few wing defenders who was, as we just mentioned a second ago,
an anchor.
That catalyst, that anchor, for that defense. So it's like, and then again, as Bonzi said, night in, night out, like he had to guard a lot of talented Big Dog Robinson.
Oh man!
Like, as he just said a second ago, Grant
up the
Hill.
Magic, Grant Hill,
like Magic, like
Penny in Orlando.
Like, yeah, exactly. You got to guard a lot of talented big
up and down the scale
and forwards, night in, night. Ron Harper Sr. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talk shit about him all they want, but he's a motherfucking bona fide scorer coming out of Miami, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you definitely gotta. Defense is going what makes you be remembered in this game, but you definitely got to bring it when you're talking about great teams and when you're talking about great offensive players.
I'm messing with
Did Michael? Did he want him on the team?
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but no, I did not want him on the team.
I don't mind Michael Jordan saying I didn't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. I don't mind, if Larry Bird said, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. But if Scottie Pippen say, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team.
That's a problem.
Man, come on. You can't say nothing.
Okay, I got a new topic for the open court. Oh, this is good.
If Jordan is like, look, I'm not playing. If Isaiah plays, okay, all right. Scottie Pippen, I'm not playing. If Isaiah plays, man, go to the park.
Freedy, I need you to get up for a second. Get up for a second, if you would, Freedy.
Okay.
And Isaiah, lay down on the couch. How long have you been harboring?
Oh man!
Are you feeling better now that it's come out, Isaiah?
Well, Ernie, it's been a while. It's been on my mind, for about 25 years right now.
Does this feel like a weight is being lifted off of you?
Well, yeah, because I finally get to talk about it and just, the whole dream team experience. And again, I got no problems with, the greatest player to ever play say he don't want to play with me, or Magic saying he don't. But anybody below them, they don't want to play with me. Anybody?
Excuse me, Mr. Thomas.
And I say below them?
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Your hour is up. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to charge you more. But I'm glad you feel better. Okay.
Great spin move. Down the
bounces. Myers cross court. Scottie! Oh, and he went right over the top of him.
Well, I guess to most people, it's probably one of the greatest dunks that they've seen me have, or maybe one of the greatest dunks in the history of the game. But wow, what a season, playing against the Knicks, and it was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. We were knocking the Knicks off every year, and they could never get past us, and that made the game fun itself, because I could look back at the days when we played against the Pistons. We had the same challenge, we could never get over them, and I remember that dunk. I think I was so frustrated to play before that I didn't get a foul or something that, I don't know, I felt like I could touch the roof, and I just sort of felt Patrick falling, and he tried to grab me. And I didn't do anything. I mean, it looks worse than what it is, but I just tried to release his arm so his momentum would just let him fall back so he wouldn't pull me down. And my momentum was still coming towards him, and I ended up sort of just walking all on top of him. And I said something that I wouldn't want to repeat here. But if you can get a professional lip reader, maybe she can figure it out. Actually, I think I said those words directed to Spike Lee. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, the rivalries against the Knicks and, playing in Madison Square Garden, that's the mecca of basketball. And as a kid, you always want to play there. And, to be able to play there is one thing, but to play there and have the battles that we had against the Knicks, that just made it so sweet. He could be looked at as a great star.
5 seconds, 4 seconds. Put up the three.
And still be able to be Dennis Rodman and live this lifestyle of a rock star.
Get your back. That's automatic. That's automatic.
On the basketball court game situation, our confidence level was so high.
Come on, I'll give you a jump shot right now. Give you a jump shot, shoot.
Even times when we got down in games, we always knew that we had a run in us. We started to see that, we were building up a lot of wins, a lot of momentum. Papers started to write and compare us with other great teams that had played in the league before us.
The Bulls have won not only 16 in a row, but their start now matches them with the 71-72 Lakers for the best ever start in the NBA. And of course, the Chicago win.
We started to read the paper and started to be real cautious about how we played and make sure that we gave our best effort, because anytime someone can compare you to the greatest to ever play the game, that's a great compliment. And I'm sure it was based on what we had done in the previous years of winning championships, but it was really building some momentum and starting to become real special.
Now listen, if I call a 10 defense, match up and play 10 full court defense.
Phil used to always tell us that, you guys are putting something together very special, and you're not going to appreciate it until after you're done playing your game. That's totally true. When you're going through the moment, you never realize how special it is. The fans know, and the people that are watching, but from a player standpoint, you think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Look at the bench. They are so excited.
Everybody on their feet over there, Tom. The coaches are up. Everybody wanting to be part of history here. 70 wins, the most by any NBA team. They're going to walk away from here with 70 wins. Pippen holds the ball in the backcourt as it ticks down. The Bulls, 70 wins.
There's a lot of different things, and just being cool. He was being cool, and he didn't have to. He didn't have to. Because he wasn't being like that with everybody. So I was blessed. That he took a liking to me, and I was one of. He came out with his own signature shoe, and he was like, "Bonzi, I want you to wear them." I was so hyped. Since I was the only person wearing his shoe back then, and it was just a really cool dude, man, and just I was thankful to be able to play with him. I didn't never take it for granted, because he's a legend. He's one of the top 50 players ever, and I remember that 2000 game, and right before we went to Game 7, I remember getting a knock on my door, and it was my doorbell. And I come outside and look outside, nobody's there. And I look down, and it's a box. It's a box, and it got a clear top. And it's all 6 of his rings. And I looked down there, and he was in his car, and he rolled out his window, like, hey, man, he said, hey, boy, I need you to put another one in there for me. And I remember I kept that mug all night. I slept with it. I didn't open it. I didn't touch him. I just, it was in a box, had a glass top, and I just remember looking at it, and he let me keep it all night long. And I was just like, this is crazy, crazy. And, he used to take me to he took me to Hawaii a couple of times. He got me into golf. He taught me, man, you need to start playing golf. And I've been playing golf 20 years now because of Pip. So, Pip was he was a real big influence on my life.
You guys wanted to win him that 7th.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Cause like Bond said, when he first got there, we were all like, all right, it was, that respect level was already there. Like, I mean, the man got 6 of them things.
Yeah.
So that's what you gotta respect right there, cause that's work consistently. And as Bond said, I would say him and Steve Smith was on the team as well. They were the most professional.
Oh,
like,
man.
they
1,000%.
kept it everything, no matter if it was, okay, leisure time, practice is over or whatever. That's pretty much the only time I ever seen Pip wear a sweatsuit. Like
Smitty too.
Yeah, going into practice or leaving practice, but it could be an off day or something. All right, they're gonna have on, sport coat, little button up, some slacks, and maybe some sneakers or some nice little comfortable shoes.
Kohan joints.
Yeah. So, but for me, where Pip influenced me was just hearing about the work ethic, just seeing and just seeing it myself. Like for him at that age, he was still putting a lot of work in. Now, it wasn't the fact that wasn't like he was young Pip where I got to go gung ho in the weight room and I got to do 1,000 dribbles and nah. He helped show me, and I do it now to this day. When I work kids out, he was like, yo, you ain't got to be in the damn gym or the weight room for no 2.5 hours. He's like, if you focus, concentrate, and know what you got to do, as soon as you get there, he's like, you could turn that 1.5 hour workout into 45 minutes.
I don't know if anyone could have ever been able to withstand that. Scottie pretty much put the franchise on his back and showed why he's one of the top 50 players of all time.
Got it. Brandon will try and catch him. No, he won't. And won't. No, he won't.
I feel like I was still young and still learning and growing and developing in the game.
We had just brought in a bunch of guys. When Steve Kerr came in with Longley and Bill Wennington.
We still had Billy Cartwright. Paxson was there that first year. So we had a lot of great veteran leadership.
Comes into Toni. Look out, it's on line. Yeah! Bulls win it! Kukoc with the lifesaver!
Somehow that group kind of found a new energy, and Scottie had an MVP type of year.
So, Scottie Pippen, as I said in the beginning of the video, obviously the past couple of years were a little bit tough, especially when you saw the things that Scottie was saying on television, on YouTube shows and whatever. It was tough, especially when you are a Jordan fan and you always had that picture in your mind that those two were really getting along and they were brothers and stuff, and it's not a nice sight. But Scottie, the basketball player, also to me, in my opinion, is probably the most underrated superstar in NBA history. And Jalen Rose said it pretty well, and some other players also said it pretty well. The time when Jordan had retired and Pippen was in his prime, you could really see how good he was. And you should never ever take anything away from a player who voluntarily steps into the second gear. Probably not the best explanation, but somebody who steps aside to have somebody else shine. I'm pretty sure that if Scottie would have been a little bit more selfish, his career numbers would also look better. But that's not what team basketball is all about. It's about winning as a team and getting the job done. And the sacrifice that Scottie made, to me, are incredible, and that's why I also love him so much as a basketball player. His book, Unguarded, is also very interesting, except for the Jordan bashing part, but it gives you a lot of insight about his mentality as a basketball player, and I can recommend it to anybody who hasn't read it or hasn't heard the audiobook. Yeah, and other than that, give me your opinion about Scottie, the basketball player, and what you think about his career and everything you want to share about Scottie. See you next time.